Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to Dr. Nur Aqilah. My name is Nur Aqilah Haneem Binti Idris. My ID number is EM2405015568. I am from Section 2, and today I will be presenting my final assessment for the course Research Methodology BUS3243. The title of my study is Work Flexibility and Employee Satisfaction in Malaysia Public Sector. The purpose of this study is to examine whether the work flexibility has a meaningful impact on employee satisfaction, especially within the context of public sector organisation in Malaysia. So this topic is very relevant today because organizations are increasingly trying to improve employee well-being while maintaining productivity. Next, let me begin with the introduction and background of this study. Employee satisfaction refers to the overall feeling, attitude, and perception that employees have toward their job and workplace. It is considered a very important factor in organizational success because satisfied employees tend to be more motivated, productive, and committed to their organization. For example, when employees are satisfied, they are more likely to perform their tasks efficiently, remain loyal to organization, and contribute positively to the workplace environment. On the other hand, low employee satisfaction can lead negative outcomes such as reduced productivity, lack of motivation, and high turnover. In today's working environment, employees face several challenges including high job demand, long working hours, and increasing work pressure. These challenges are even more significant in the public sector where work systems are often structured and less flexible. As a result, employees may find it difficult to balance their work responsibilities with their personal life, which can ultimately affect their level of satisfaction. Now, I will moving on to the problem statement and research gap. One of the major issues faced by employees today is the difficulty in maintaining a proper work-life balance. Due to heavy workload and strict work schedule, employees may experience stress, fatigue, and reduced job satisfaction. In many public sector organizations, flexibility in terms of working hours and workplace is limited, which make it harder for employees to manage both work and personal responsibilities effectively. Although work flexibility has been widely discussed in previous research, most studies focus on its impact on work-life balance rather than directly on employee satisfaction. Furthermore, there is limited empirical evidence specifically related to the Malaysian public sector. This creates a research gap as the effectiveness of work flexibility in improving employee satisfaction within the context is still unclear. Therefore, this study aims to address this gap by examining the relationship between work flexibility and employee satisfaction among public sector employees in Malaysia. So I will move to the research objective and hypothesis. The main objective of this study is to examine the relationship between work flexibility and employee satisfaction. In this study, work flexibility is treated as the independent variable, while employee satisfaction is dependent variable. This study aims to determine whether providing flexibility in the workplace can significantly improve employee level of satisfaction. Based on this objective, the hypothesis proposed is that work flexibility has a significant relationship with employee satisfaction. In other words, it is expected that higher level of flexibility will lead to higher level of employee satisfaction. Next, literature review. The first is about the DV, employee satisfaction. Employee satisfaction is defined as the extent to which employees feel positively about their job. It includes aspects such as enjoyment of work, sense of achievement, and overall fulfillment. Previous studies have shown that employee satisfaction plays a critical role in influencing organizational outcome. For example, satisfied employees tend to be more engaged, more productive, and more committed to their organization. They are also more likely to maintain positive relationships with colleagues and contribute to a healthy work environment. On the other hand, dissatisfied employees may experience negative outcomes such as stress, lack of motivation, absenteeism, and even leaving the organization. In the public sector, employee satisfaction is especially important because it directly affects the quality of service provided to the public. If employees are satisfied, they are more likely to deliver efficient and high quality service. Second is work flexibility. Work flexibility refers to the extent to which employees are able to control and manage their working hours, work location, and job schedule. These include arrangements such as flexible working hours, teleworking, and hybrid work model. work flexibility is increasingly important in the modern organization because it helps employees balance their professional and personal responsibilities. For example, flexible working hours allow employees to adjust their schedule based on their needs, while remote work reduces commuting time and increase convenience. This benefit can lead to reduced stress, improved well-being, and higher job satisfaction. However, previous studies have shown that the impact of work flexibility on employee satisfaction is not always consistent. In some cases, flexibility may not significantly improve satisfaction if other factors such as leadership, organizational support, or work environment are not favorable. This suggests that work flexibility alone may not enough to fully determine employee satisfaction. Next slide, theory and conceptual framework. So this study is based on the social exchange theory. According to this theory, the relationship between employees and organization is based on mutual exchange. Um, when organization provide support to employees, such as offering flexible work arrangement, employees are more likely to respond positively. This positive response can include increased satisfaction, commitment, and loyalty toward the organization. For example, when employees feel the organization care about their well-being, they are more motivated to perform well and contribute to organizational goal. The conceptual framework of this study shows a direct relationship between work flexibility and employee satisfaction. This means that work flexibility is expected to influence employee satisfaction. However, this relationship may also be affected by other factors which explain why the result may vary. Now let's discuss the methodology used in this study. This study adopts a quantitative research design which focus on collecting and analyzing numerical data. The data was collected through a structured questionnaire distributed using Google Form. A total of 238 public sector employees participate in this study and all questionnaires were successfully completed. The sampling technique used was purposive sampling, which ensured that the respondents selected are relevant to the research topic. The questionnaire was designed using a Likert scale ranging from 1, which represents strongly disagree, to 10, which represents strongly agree. This allowed the researcher to measure the level of agreement of respondents on various statements. The collected data was analyzed using SPSS, using reliability analysis, descriptive analysis, correlation analysis, and regression analysis. Next, I will present the findings and analysis of the study. First is reliability analysis shows that employee satisfaction has a convex alpha value of 0.542 while work flexibility has a value of 0.652. This value indicates that the measurement items used in the study are acceptable and reliable. Next, the descriptive analysis shows the mean value of the employee satisfaction is 5.93 while the mean value for work flexibility is 6.11. This indicates that both variables are at the moderate level among respondents. This means that employees generally experience a moderate level of satisfaction and flexibility, but there is a variation depending on individual circumstance. For the demographic profile, the majority of respondents are female, followed by male respondents. Most respondents are aged 30 years old and below, which indicate that the sample consists mainly of younger employees. In terms of marital status, most respondents are single, and in terms of working experience, most have between 2 to 5 years experience. For the correlation analysis, the results show a correlation coefficient of 0.379. This indicates a moderate positive relationship between work flexibility and employee satisfaction. This means that as a work flexibility increase, employee satisfaction also tend to increase. However, when testing the hypothesis, the result is not statistically significant as the p-value is greater than 0.05. Therefore, the hypothesis is rejected. This suggests that although there is positive relationship, work flexibility is not a strong or significant factor in determining employee satisfaction. Last but not least, conclusion and recommendation. In conclusion, the study aimed to examine the relationship between work flexibility and employee satisfaction in Malaysia public sector. The findings shows that work flexibility has a positive but weak relationship with employee satisfaction. Although flexibility can help improve satisfaction, it is not the main factor that determines employee satisfaction. This indicates that employee satisfaction is a complex concept influenced by multiple factors. Therefore, organizations should rely on work flexibility to improve employee satisfaction. Instead, they should adopt a more comprehensive approach by focus on other important factors such as supervisor support, work environment, and organizational policies. For example, supportive leadership and positive work environment can significantly enhance employee experience and satisfaction level. And for future research, it is recommended to use a larger sample size and include additional variables such as leadership style, organizational support, and Workplace culture. This will provide a more complete understanding of employee satisfaction. That's all from my presentation. Thank you for lending me your ear.